Very good afternoon, yeah. I think first of all, we really kind of like be very privileged and also very fortunate that we have Professor Michael Izza, which is the CEO or the Chief Executive of ICAEW, yeah, and so he's very familiar in terms of the ICAEW side. So every one of you kind of like should be very privileged to have the opportunity to meet up with Prof. Michael Izza. Yeah, he don't kind of like come to Malaysia, yeah, so often, and obviously this particular trip, when we were informed that he'll be here in Malaysia, so we thought that we had to make something significant, yeah, and that is why we have this collaboration agreement that we're going to sign, which I will kind of like explain a bit more later. Yeah. Also, we have Datuk Gan, yeah, the managing partner, BDO. We also have with us Elaine Hong from ICAEW, Ming Xiang from ICAEW, and Ms. Sandra Ong from the Metropolitan Corridor, which actually kind of like manage or basically our scholars from Yayasan Penderaju, which, for this year, 2023, we have actually a batch of 32, yeah, under the Yayasan Penderaju sponsorship. And because, that these global accountant scholars, the scholarship, right, basically targeting very, very bright students. Yeah, you got a lot of A's, right? All of you got a lot of A's, whether it's SPM, O levels, or A levels, or pre-U, whatever, yeah. We also have Queenie, yeah, one of our basically multiple the award, yeah, recipients of the World Prize, and also the oral order merits and all that. So with us, including the parent, yeah, thank you for your time. And obviously the rest of you, yeah, the lecturers, and also the all the recipients here this morning, yeah, this afternoon. You see, when Sunway, basically the approved learning partner for the ICAEW program in 2004, this is where we started, yeah. And during that time, yeah, those who kind of like pursue ICAEW at Sunway are mainly part-time. They are basically working adult, and they are actually returning from the UK. So most of them who have the ICAEW Chartered Accountant in the past is actually kind of like returnees from UK. It means that they have gone to UK to do the degree, and then after that, they need to secure the training agreement with the ATEs in UK. And Datuk Gan is basically one of that, yeah. So it's not kind of like easy, yeah, to actually kind of like to pursue the ICAEW professional qualification. And of course, for Sunway, we then introduced the pathway for the SPM levels and O levels. That also we'd also allow students from pre-U and A levels to come through the ICAEW program. So all these paths, right, it is something that, only in Malaysia. And I think it really kind of like have benefited, yeah, this particular pathway. Otherwise, to become an ICAEW Chartered Accountant, your parents will have to spend a lot of money, yeah, not just to do the A levels, and also the degree in UK, and to become an ICAEW Chartered Accountant is going to cost, yeah, the parent a lot of money, yeah. But this pathway, not only in terms of the saving, but also in terms of the duration Yeah, it really kind of like shortened, from the usual 8.5 years to become ICAEW Chartered Accountant to actually 5.5 years. So that again is a significant kind of like, the benefit. And of course, and to attract students to do ICAEW, it wasn't easy because it kind of like very new. Only those who are kind of like, in UK, they're probably more aware of the ICAEW. So for Sunway side, when we introduce this pathway, we obviously try to attract students to do CFAP and then onto the ICAEW. It wasn't easy, yeah. Even though there is like a guaranteed job, because when the students go onto the WBL and then onto the training agreement with the ATEs, right, Sunway side undertake fully to ensure the WBL is completed, which is part of the requirement by the MQA. And similarly, in terms of to ensure students complete their ICAEW, we also have to secure the training agreement. Yeah, even though majority or basically students have actually gone on to the Big Five here in Malaysia, still very challenging to actually recruit, students coming onto the CFAP pathway. So that is why, together with ICAEW, we will then introduce, obviously with the support from ICAEW, both sides, Sunway and ICAEW side, we then launched the Global Accountant Scholarship. Yeah. And again, obviously, this has benefited tremendously, I can say, because from 2013, to 2023 today, we have altogether, 737, the Global Accountant Scholars from the SPM, majority from SPM, and some from O levels. So 737. And from the pre-U, we have about 117. So the total number, those who have benefited from the Global Accountant Scholarship is 854. So over the years, like 10 years. So, and the total amount of scholarship waiver from Sunway alone, for these 737 O-level and SPM leavers, and also the pre-U students, the total amount is 34 million. This is not a small amount. It's not 340,000, it's 34 million. Sunway has actually waived. Because for 8As, and those who are 9As, you know that the entire, the scholar, basically the tuition fees for both CFAP and the professional level, the 6 papers, altogether 12 papers, is fully waived by Sunway. And obviously, to make it even more attractive, is the last 3 paper is sponsored by the employer, the ATE. So can you imagine that, the parents, if you have to spend at least $500,000 and above to send the kids to go to UK to pursue the ICAEW, this money can be totally kind of like, be saved, simply because the children have good results. So this is actually very, very, very beneficial. What Sunway and ICAEW have done over a period of 10 years has really benefited tremendously, in terms of like those who come through this particular pathway. And in addition to this, right, out of 854, we actually have recorded 27 already completed the ICAEW program. Means that they're full-fledged chartered accountant already. And more importantly, out of this 327, 280 are actually with the Big Five. 85% of these graduates, or this chartered accountant actually working with the 85% in the Big Five. And not only the Big Five here in Malaysia, but also as Michael, yesterday, we have alumni event in Singapore. He also have met many of Sunway graduates who are now working in Singapore. So obviously, these really have benefited tremendously. And the other 15% are actually with the mid-tier firm and also the commercial ATEs. So the whole, I can say, the Global Accountant Scholarship, that we had since 2013, is really kind of like beneficial to Malaysians. And I'm very pleased to announce, like today, we're going to sign the collaboration agreement with ICAEW for another 5 more years. So this again is something that very significant, both the contribution from ICAEW side and also from Sunway, okay? And also for today, we are also actually going to acknowledge there are also a new special scholarship between Sunway, BDO, and ICAEW, a special scholarship. And this actually will benefit students not just from the 8A and 9A, but students for 5A, 6As, and 7A will also now be eligible for Sunway, BDO, and ICAEW scholarship. So that again, it is something that we hope that more students will actually going to benefit from this scholarship. So I think the significance of this is also not just the 5 years that at Sunway campus here in Bandar Sunway. In fact, we also signed the agreement with ICAEW for 5 years agreement on our new setup in Sunway TES College in Iskandar Puteri, Johor. So that agreement also covered Sunway TES College, Iskandar Puteri, Johor. A new setup that will be launched, in January 2024. So a lot of Johorians should, benefit from this new Sunway TES College in Iskandar Puteri, later on. So I think, that's very important. I think together with ICAEW, we are here, to make sure that we kind of like, have as many as the students coming onto the ICAEW as an ICAEW chartered accountant, and to help Malaysia to actually kind of like produce more professionally qualified accountants, and not just for Malaysia, but also in terms of for the region as well. So that is the reason why I think, it's very important that this collaboration agreement that we signed with ICAEW, that for another 5 more years. So I think with this, I would just want to thanks again Prof. Michael Izza, and the entire ICAEW team to make this happen. And also, I think for all of you here, very fortunate that later on you will have a picture taken with Prof. Michael Izza as well. Thank you.
Professor Teo, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, scholars, I'm really pleased to be back at Sunway. Now, I say back at Sunway because over the years, I've visited Malaysia on many occasions, and we always fit in a trip to Sunway. But every time I come to Sunway, I meet more and more young people who want to train to be chartered accountants. And I think it's absolutely fabulous for the future of Malaysia and for the future of the accountancy profession. I think, Professor Teo, those words that you just shared with us about the success of this programme over the years, and the numbers associated with it are quite staggering. I mean, if you think about the potential, the human potential that has been delivered through Sunway, and the changes that you are going to make and those who've gone before you are going to make, I think it's fabulous. You are going to shape the second quarter of the next 100 years. Just think about that. You are going to be the business leaders of tomorrow. You may not think so now, but you are, because the potential that you've got is absolutely enormous, and you can do anything that you want. Why do I say that, and why do I say it with confidence? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, there are many accountancy qualifications, and many of those accountancy qualifications are very good, and they produce good accountants. But the ACA, which you're all going to study for or have already achieved, isn't about just producing good accountants. It's producing leaders, and that's different. Professor Teo mentioned that we had a members event last night in Singapore, and I particularly enjoyed going around talking to people on each of the tables to ask them about their experience, what they'd done, were they trained, and what they were doing. And, you know, there are some really, really interesting stories. I mean, people doing exciting things with AI, people doing things with the Sovereign Wealth Fund, people at the banks, auditors, forensic accountants, insolvency practitioners. The great thing about the ACA is that you can do all sorts of things with it. But there was a row of tables, and they were a little bit older than you, about 10 years older than you perhaps. And one after another, they all said, "We're from Malaysia. We trained at Sunway." And most of them added, "And you gave us our certificate." So I had to apologise because I couldn't remember all of them personally, but they remember me. And it's easier for them to remember one than me to remember many. But, you know, it's really good to think that they started after A-levels and now we're actually doing really important professional jobs. So the thought I want to leave with you is that the accountancy profession gives you skills which you can then deploy in so many ways. It's down to you how you want to deploy them. But right now, this planet is facing so many challenges. And one of the skills that you're going to acquire through the course of your training, both at Sunway and when you go into a practice environment, is how to solve problems. And the world needs problem solvers more than ever before. In 2 weeks' time, the ICAEW will be taking an advert in the Financial Times, which is one of the leading financial newspapers in the world. And the reason that we're taking the advert in the Financial Times is because in 2 weeks' time, in fact, actually, it's next week. A week's moved. Next week. Next week, the Assembly of the United Nations in New York is going to look at the halfway point of the Sustainability Development Goals. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Sustainability Development Goals, they were agreed in 2015. There were 17 goals and 169 targets that sit under those goals. 192 countries agreed that they were the biggest priorities for the planet. and that all of the countries agreed to work on them and achieve them by 2030. Before the pandemic, many of those goals were making good progress. But unfortunately, during the pandemic, the progress has either stalled or in some cases gone backwards. And we're calling on political leaders of every country to remember that they committed to achieve these goals by 2030. And we, at ICAEW, and a number of other organisations who are standing beside us, will do whatever we can to help those governments achieve these goals, because the planet has to be a place that's fit for us all to live in. And this isn't just about climate change. This is about nature, gender equality, good jobs, things that matter to society. And chartered accountants will help deliver these, because unless you measure, report and assure, you can't solve the problems. So that may be a big thought to leave you with, but somebody, King Charles of the United Kingdom, said chartered accountants are going to save the world. And I honestly believe that we will. But it won't be just in the UK, it will be globally. So can I thank Professor Teo for his hospitality? Can I thank him very much for everything that he's done for the last 20 years? We're looking forward to the renewal of our partnership together for the next 5 years. Can we thank BDO for the new scholarship programme? And we're looking forward to that being a great success. But most of all, I want to wish all of you the best of luck with your future career. The world is relying on you. Thank you.
Now we would like to invite Professor Teo, Ms. Elaine, and Ms. Teresa to come on stage.
Should we sign it?
Yes, please.
Do you want to hold this or something?
Exchanging a handshake. Yeah, maybe you just need. Sorry, sir. I think you might need to hold the. No. The handshake should be in front. The handshake should be in front, but then you might want to hold it from the bottom up. Yeah, rather than from the top. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Would anyone else like a different pose?
All right. Okay. Thank you.
We would like to invite Ms. Queenie Chan on stage. We proudly present and award Ms. Queenie Chan Chan, who is a 3-time ICAEW World Prize winner. She received annual International Orders of Merit for December 2022 exam sitting, where she ranked first in the world for a non-graduate student for 6 ICAEW professional level papers with an average score of 93 and won the Simon Morris Memorial Prize. She also ranked second in the world for the Stevens Prize.
Next, for December 2021 sitting, Queenie was the World Prize winner and won first place at the Knox Prize for Tax Compliance subject with a score of 98. She is also a proud ICAEW Global Accountant full scholarship recipient in 2020.
We would like Professor Michael Izza and Professor Teo to remain on stage to present the scholarship award presentation. Okay. Starting with the CFAB 8A scholars. Ika Yusliza binti Yusuf. Jugat Singh, anak lelaki Jagdish Singh. Nicole Chan Ke Ying. Yip Shani. Okay. Pe Jia En. Excuse me. Okay. Brendan Tae Kun Hao. Okay. Chan Jia Jun. Right? Cheong Jia En.
Chong Tian Yao. Bun Jia Yi. Elizabeth Law Jia Wei. Fiona Su Sin Yi. Gabriel Goh Jun Sien. Gan Kai Sien. Goh Sin Ru. Hui Chi Ming. Isaac Chong Jia Jin. Ku Zining. Ko Chung Wei.
Ku Shu Yi. Lai Jie Yi. Li Chang Yi. Li Xin Yi. Lem Kai Yang. Liang Shenzin. Lim Chun Pin. Lim Earn Tong. Lim Hee Hong. Lim Jianshen.
Lim Le Shin. Lim Ji En. Ling Jing Wen. Lua Jia Yi. Luo Zixuan. Lu Fui Jade. Lo Yit Han. Lui Chi Kang.
Muhammad Munawar bin Muhammad Farid.
Eng Sin Yi.
Pua Luo Xuan. Jing Yi. Okay. Rachel Au Jing Yi. So Kai Xiang. So Yi Ker. Some Carmen. Tan Li Jian. T Yi Rong.
How to say it?
Teng Zixuan. Teo Ee. Teo Teng Li.
Tung Man Ho. Wong Qian Sing. Yap Si Ching. Yap Jia Yi. Now, on to our ICAEW 2A scholars. Jocelyn Ng. Now, on to our ICAEW 3A scholars. Jessin Fu. Lai Yue En.
Lin Zhengyang. Natalie Liao Yi Wen. Name? Ng Zechun. Sam Hei Ru. We would like for Professor Michael Izza and Professor Teo to remain on stage for the next presentation, which is the BDO Sunway ICAEW sponsorship. We would also like to invite Dato Gan Ati, Managing Partner of BDO, on stage. These students are sponsored by BDO PLT under BDO Sunway TES and ICAEW collaboration by providing financial assistance for them to pursue ICAEW qualification at Sunway TES. Cho Yu Jie. Hu Wenkin. Full name.
Sri Shiva Prasad.
Prasad. Okay. Sri Shiva Prasad, anak lelaki Tamil Maran.
Pronounce your full name.
Tashwinjit Singh, anak lelaki Sarjit Singh.
Okay. Kashvinjit Singh, anak lelaki Sarjit.
Yeah.
Yi Ving Yen.
Thank you, Professor Michael Izza and Professor Teo. Please kindly remain where you are. We would now like to have the token of appreciation to present to Professor Michael Izza. My experience. When I go down, say thank you.
Okay, give a big smile. Alright, 1, 2, 3. I'll take a few shots. Alright, keep smiling, keep smiling. Okay, boleh? Okay, alright. Okay.